Grief. It's one of the most painful and raw emotions any of us can experience. But imagine having to live through that grief, not in the privacy of your home, but under the harsh spotlight of reality television. That's the heartbreaking reality for Janelle Brown, who, as many of you know, recently suffered the unimaginable loss of her son. Garrison Brown, watching her navigate that grief in front of the cameras, is both painful and in some ways deeply uncomfortable. It's like watching someone drown in front of you, knowing that there's nothing you can do to stop it. For Janelle, the grief of losing Garrison is not just a private affair, it's something that has been exposed to millions of viewers. But here's the kicker. While we as an audience feel for her, we also have to ask, is this ethical? Should the production team be filming and asking questions about her son's passing for the sake of ratings? The lines between entertainment and empathy seem to blur in this case, and many fans are left wondering just how much is too much when it comes to showing someone's deepest sorrow. Hi, I'm Mia, and welcome back to TLC's Next Chapter, the channel where we break down everything you need to know about sister wives and the real drama that happens off camera. Before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and let me know what you think about this whole situation in the comments. Do you think Janelle's grief is being exploited, or is this just how reality TV works now? Losing a child is a pain no parent should ever have to endure yet. For Janelle Brown, that heartache became not just a personal struggle, but something she had to navigate in front of millions of viewers. The cameras didn't give her a break. Her grief was broadcasted for the world to see. And while we got a glimpse of the depths of her pain, Janelle herself remained remarkably composed. There's something incredibly poignant about the way she grieves, a quiet strength that feels almost like she's holding it all in. It's as if she's in a battle with her emotions, trying to stay strong, but each moment she shares just shows how shattered she really is. I can't help but think back to the moments when Janelle is seen reflecting on her bond with Garrison. There's something about the way she talks about him that feels like it goes beyond words. The memories she shares, simple yet profound, of their time together. It's not just the big monumental memories that stand out, but the small everyday moments. The laughs, the shared glances, the warmth of their relationship. She's not just mourning the loss of a son, she's mourning the loss of her connection, of her role as a mother in his life. In the episodes where Janelle speaks about Garrison, her voice often cracks just for a moment, but you can hear it. You can hear the sorrow, the aching that she's trying so hard to keep in check. What's striking about Janelle's grief is how subtle it is. She doesn't break down dramatically or lash out. Instead, she sits with her emotions quietly, letting the weight of her loss hang heavy in the air. For some, it might seem like she's not grieving enough. But anyone who's ever lost someone knows that grief comes in different forms. Some people cry loudly and wear their sorrow on their sleeve. Others keep it close to their chest, fighting back tears even when the world seems to crumble around them. But that quiet mourning doesn't mean she's not hurting. It's actually the opposite. It takes strength to hold yourself together when the pain feels like it might swallow you. Whole Janelle's grief is the kind that lingers in the silence. It's in the moments when she's alone in her room, staring at a picture of Garrison. It's in the stillness when she talks about him with such love and longing. It's in the brief pauses when she's speaking, as if trying to find the right words that can somehow encompass all that she's feeling. What makes it even harder to watch is how much of this pain is on display for the world. Reality TV shows like Sister Wives capture the most vulnerable moments of people's lives, moments that are supposed to be private, moments that should remain intimate. And here's Janelle, not just mourning the loss of a child, but doing it under the camera's gaze, always having to be aware that her grief is being captured for an audience. Her emotional struggle is juxtaposed against the ever-present cameras, creating an uncomfortable tension between her personal suffering and the public nature of the show. There's a heartbreaking moment in one episode where Janelle recalls the last conversation she had with Garrison. Her face is soft with emotion, and you can tell that even just remembering it brings her both comfort and sorrow. For someone who has always been a rock for her family, someone who's had to navigate through the complicated dynamics of a plural marriage and the emotional toll of being part of a large family. This loss is something that no amount of strength can prepare you for, and yet Janelle shows us how resilience, doesn't always mean big, loud gestures. Sometimes it's simply surviving the day, and that in itself is a powerful form of strength for those of us watching. It's hard not to feel like we're intruding on something deeply personal, something we have no right to see. It's one thing to witness a family fight or watch a tense conversation unfold. Grief is different, and while Janelle's quiet strength is nothing short of inspiring, it's also painfully obvious that this is a mother who is carrying a weight she was never meant to carry all, while trying to keep it together for the cameras as viewers. We are asked to bear witness to her heartache, but the question we need to ask ourselves is this: how much of this grief should be exposed for the sake of entertainment? Does Janelle deserve that kind of privacy? Or is this just part of the deal when you sign up for a reality TV show? The rawness of her grief is palpable, and it feels like we're intruding on her most intimate moments. That's the painful dichotomy of Janelle's journey, her strength and vulnerability all mixed together, laid bare for the world to see. And while some may criticize her composure, I can't help but admire the quiet, fierce way she's been navigating this loss. As much as Sister Wives has captured our attention over the years, it also reveals something much darker: the ethical line between capturing real emotions for entertainment and outright exploiting people's pain when it comes to grief. This line can sometimes become blurry, especially when it's used to fuel a reality TV show. And in Janelle's case, the show's treatment of her mourning journey became a point of serious controversy. One of the most jarring moments came when the production team, someone behind the scenes, asked a question that seemed so completely out of place, it left fans speechless during a confessional. The producer awkwardly prodded Janelle about Garrison's death. They asked her about her feelings, clearly looking for some dramatic soundbite. The tone of the question felt so disconnected from the gravity of the situation, almost like it was scripted to elicit a specific emotional response. You could see it in Janelle's face. Her discomfort was palpable. It was as if they expected her to open up breakdown or give them something to play with for the episode. This wasn't just awkward, it was invasive. Janelle was already battling a personal tragedy, and now she had to relive it on camera for an audience with a producer pushing her to say more. These moments not only cross the boundaries of empathy, but they also blur the lines between real human suffering and entertainment. It made you question how much of a tragedy is fair game for TV. The editing choices didn't help either. The way certain scenes were cut, adding music, or framing them with the intention to tug at viewers' heartstrings further magnified the issue fans took to social media. Expressing their outrage, they criticized the show for capitalizing on Janelle's grief, calling it unethical, and accusing the producers of using a mother's pain as mere content. It left viewers wondering, how much are these families really sacrificing in the name of entertainment? Shouldn't there be a line drawn, especially when dealing with something as deeply personal as the loss of a child? The show's handling of this tragedy felt more like exploitation than storytelling. And for Janelle, it's clear that her grief was never truly her own. In that moment, the dysfunction within the Brown family isn't just about Cody and his wives. It's about the strained relationships with his children. Particularly his daughter Gwendolyn fans saw it in full force, as Gwendolyn opened up about her feelings towards her father, revealing how deeply she was hurt by Cody's emotional neglect. In her words, it was clear that she didn't just see the breakup between her parents as inevitable, but as something that had been building for years. Gwendolyn called out Cody for his failure to be there for her when it mattered the most, exposing just how fractured their father-daughter bond truly was. Then there's the role Cody and Robin play in all of this. For many viewers, the two of them seem to be at the center of the unraveling family dynamic. Robin, with her close-knit relationship with Cody, often appears to overshadow the other wives and children, fueling a sense of division. Cody's prioritization of Robin's needs over the rest of his family's has been a sticking point for many fans who argue that it's created a toxic environment where his children, especially Gwendolyn, are left feeling neglected and abandoned. This all plays out in front of the cameras, adding layers of drama for public consumption. The way the producers highlight these emotional rifts for ratings only deepens the divide within the family. It's one thing to air out your dirty laundry, it's another when it feels like that laundry is being tossed around for the world to see, making the pain even worse for those involved. This brings us to a bigger moral question that hangs. Over the whole reality TV industry, should personal grief really be on display for public consumption? We've seen how Janelle's heartache over losing Garrison is laid bare for millions to witness. But at what cost? Reality TV thrives on authentic moments. But the line between showcasing raw emotion and exploiting someone's pain can be dangerously thin. Janelle, in her grief, had to put on a brave face for the cameras. Yet, what did the audience get in return? An intimate look into the most painful time of her life, with little regard for the emotional toll it may have caused. When does filming someone's real-life suffering cross the line into exploitation? Is it okay to show a grieving mother's pain? If it's just to grab more views, we can argue that it's real content, but that doesn't erase the fact that this is a human being. We're talking about someone whose emotional distress is being captured for the sake of entertainment. As we reflect on the way grief is handled in the show, it's clear that there needs to be more respect, empathy, and ethical boundaries in reality. TV, it's not just about what sells, it's about what's right. At the very least, the people who choose to share their lives on screen deserve to have their emotions treated with care, not exploited for the sake of drama or ratings. As we wrap this up, let's turn our attention to Gwendolyn, whose emotional reflections provide a powerful perspective on the pain of emotional neglect and the possibility of healing. Gwendolyn has always been open about her struggles, particularly the impact of her father's emotional absence, and how the breakdown of her family's dynamic has shaped who she is today. Her reflections on forgiveness are raw, relatable, and grounded in a desire for personal growth. Gwen's journey is not just about reconciling with her father, it's a much broader conversation about how emotional neglect can fester within families. Especially when those families are constantly under the public microscope, she's forced to face not only her personal wounds, but also the societal expectations placed on her as part of a reality TV family. And yet, through it all, she has found her own path toward healing. In her case, forgiveness may not mean forgetting the past, but finding a way to reclaim her own power. Despite the trauma, this situation brings us back to a larger point. Reality TV may present a family story, but it doesn't always capture the full depth of what happens behind closed doors. Fans have become so emotionally invested because despite the drama and the spectacle, they see real human beings dealing with real pain, pain that extends far beyond the cameras. So where do we go from here? What lessons should we take away from Janelle's grief, Gwendolyn's healing, and the ethical dilemmas of reality TV? Please like and subscribe.